time to check in. We are at just over 2 hours into our long adventure. Almost 8.5 miles. It's nice that the pack is getting a little bit lighter as we go. You know, drinking plenty of water, brought some snacks. Trying to stay fueled up and trying to keep the pace easy. You're going for a long day. Going out too hot can be pretty bad. Pretty bad idea. So, starting off nice and easy. Basically just jogging the downhills, hiking most of the rest. And we'll see if we can pick up the pace a little bit as we get lighter throughout the day. All right, 4-hour update. We are in Delafield now. I think that's one of the really interesting things about the Ice Age Trail is the road connecting routes and the fact that it has to go through quite a few towns. You know, when such a long trail is all contained in one single state, kind of inevitable that towns are going to either need to be passed through or eventually towns will grow around areas of the trail. So I just literally was walking in downtown Delafield, and nice thing about that is you can refuel. So I carried enough water to get me the first few hours. And then I stopped and bought some water and refilled. Maybe a Red Bull and a lemonade too. Recharge a little bit. So yeah, just about 4 hours in, a couple minutes away. About just shy of 16 miles. So nice, steady, easy pace. We're having fun. I'm ready to get back in the woods though. I've been out on the road and obviously on bike paths quite a bit here in the late morning sun. I'm ready to get back in the woods. The woods is where I belong. How about a 20-mile update? Yeah. 20 miles in, over 20 miles. Just short of 5 hours. We've reached the Latham Peak unit. Love this unit. Done a couple of races out here, 5K, 10K. Come out here for some training runs. Love this spot. Looks like they actually had a race here recently. Make sure I know where I'm going here. Yeah, 5 hours, over 20 miles. Trying to pick up the pace here a little bit for a couple of miles, and then we'll see how long we can keep going. Peace. 6-hour check-in. Whew. It's getting hot out here, folks. I am now on the Glacial Drumline Trail, which is another bike trail, which means I'm out in the sun, not in the woods. Urgh. It's good. It's heat training, right? 25.25 miles. A little slower today than I would like to be going. But I have to remember that the main goal today is time on feet. I need to be able to stay up and moving forward all day. So that's what we're training today. Keep the main thing the main thing. Seven-hour check-in. Thought you guys might like to see a little bit more of the trail this time instead of my ugly mug. in a beautiful section of trail. Couldn't tell you what section it's actually named. I'll have to take a look at that after I'm done today. I am approaching 30 miles, which was my minimum mile goal today. Huzzah! Not huzzah, however, is that I still have not been able to crack a sub 7 hour 31 mile 50K on the trails. I've been just over 7 hours the previous 2 times that I've attempted this, and I will be just over 7 hours again.
My pace, 15:08.
As you hear my pace, I think 15:08 on this mile. Basically right on pace with what I've been doing on average this whole time, so that's good. We're maintaining a steady pace, not a lot of up and down. That's the pace. As you can see, I'm climbing again, and that's one of the reasons why it's pretty unpredictable what your pace is actually going to be when you come out on a new trail to do this stuff. Because you can look at a trail map and say, oh, there's this much elevation, but is that all in one big climb? Are you constantly going up and down on smaller hills? Is it really rocky, or is it nice and flat like this part of the trail is? Are there lots of roots or little indents and trip hazards all over the place? All those things really affect your pace a lot more than you might expect if you're not very experienced on trail running. And that's always an interesting conversation to me when road runners kind of joke about how slow trail runners go. And I want to put some context on the intensity, the perceived exertion, how much different it is with a trail. Because when I'm on the road and I'm doing 15 to 20 miles, an easy pace is going to be somewhere between 9 and 10 minutes per mile for me. And that's very sustainable for me. When I come out and do this on the trail and I'm going for, the first 20 miles today, I was basically going the same pace I am now. So a very sustainable pace. But like I just hinted, it was basically 15 minutes a mile. I might have I have a couple of miles where I tried to pick it up a little bit and they were like 13-minute pace. Because I didn't want to go super hard, but I wanted to step it up a little bit for a couple of miles, get some threshold work in. But most of the time today has been 14 and a half, up to maybe 15. I started out with a couple of really easy miles that were like 16 and 17. So as that example, I basically have the same perceived exertion or the same level of intensity hitting 14-minute miles on the trails versus hitting 9.5-minute miles on the road. So I think road runners who don't really have any experience on the trail don't really understand how much different it is. And I mentioned some of the things, but I think the reasons why it's different are fairly obvious. More elevation gain and loss, more trip hazards, more ankle turn hazards. But they just don't realize how much it really affects you, especially over a longer day. When you're looking at 20 plus or 30 plus miles. So I think that's really interesting. And I think more people should get out and try the trails. It's so much more interesting. It's so much more to look at. I've seen like 4 or 5 deer today. Got a couple of good pictures that I'll add to the recap on this training run. saw a fox a couple days ago on a different trail. Like, you just see a lot of cool stuff. I think more people need to get out and do that stuff in the trails. I always feel super recharged when I get out and do a long trail day. Even if it's a really hard workout, I feel just like a different sense of calm and a different sense of energy in the days after that workout, compared to like if I get out and run around in town on the road. Those things still feel good, like the way that any workout feels good. But you get out in nature for a day like this, and it's a different kind of battery charge that you get from it. More people need to get out and do it on a regular basis, in my opinion. So there's my soapbox for the day. Thanks for listening.